What's going on, everyone? Hootmoney here with another video for you guys today. Today, we're going to be talking about Aterian, or ATR, as it had an explosive rally into the close of the day. I'm excited to bring you guys this video. I hope you guys enjoy. Drop a like on it if you guys did. If you guys want to check out Hootmoney trade alerts, we made a few good plays, such as RDBX. We sniped that one at the bottom, and we have successfully swung it. I'll show you guys my profit and loss on the screen right now. But yes, if you guys wanted to check out Hootmoney trade alerts, it's that first link in the description. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. So we originally noticed that Aterian, or Ater, was following this Wyckoff distribution pattern, as I'm gonna quickly draw out on the screen for you guys right here, where it broke out of its previous resistance level. It was supposed to use that as a support level and bounce, but it did not hold that, and this formed a Wyckoff distribution pattern, which is overall a bearish pattern, which led it into a downtrend. Now, in my previous video, I was looking at this yellow line, as you guys can see marked right here, the $4.20 level. I kid you not, was a very, very strong support level for Aterian, and it got rejected by it four separate occasions right here, and then eventually with the SPY running and then things heating up, it really got explosive towards the end of the day, and I guess it ended up running from the low of the day all the way to the high of the day about 27%. So that is an incredible move from Aterian. Now, what can we expect from it? Well, let's go into the weekly chart first and foremost, starting with the longer time frames. Weekly chart, if you're looking on Market Cypher, you guys can see VWAP is in fact pointing down, which is not the best sign, not something that you want to be seeing on longer time frames. You're also seeing a red Heikin-Ashi candle. Now, this can be changed. Obviously, the week just started. It can turn into green momentum, but with that VWAP pointing down, it's definitely pushing towards the downside. Now, in the daily chart, you're starting to see the formation of an uptrend. So by looking at that weekly chart, that's going to put additional pressure on the daily chart. So if it does start curving back up, it may form a lower high just because of that weekly chart with the VWAP pointing down. So as you guys can see, if we're just zooming in on Market Cypher here, the VWAP is starting to curve right back up on the daily chart, and that overall means that even though it is in this overbought region, it can start moving back up. And like we said, this support right here at $4.20 was very, very strong, and it got rejected by it a few different times. So on these longer term time frames, it's starting to recognize that, and that's why we're seeing this in the daily chart. The 4-hour chart was in the oversold region. Essentially, this whole region down here, it was showing that it is oversold, and the fact that it had green money flow meant that it at least was due for a bounce. And then hourly chart here is getting bullish confirmation there on Market Cypher A with the green dot signal. However, it is slightly overbought. If we do zoom in here on Market Cypher, the momentum is on the upside, and it is pointing down on that VWAP, which means it could be cooling off. So overall, the likely scenario that I see playing out is that it possibly goes up here, tests this next fib level at 537, comes back down potentially. I don't know if it's going to basically start jumping up preemptively and enter that next fib level, or if it's going to go all the way down, retest the old fib level, and then come back up. But it does seem like there's at least some more juice if we're looking at that 4-hour chart for it to continue to go up. So I do think that it could in fact reach this $6.09, $6.10 fib level right here before potentially seeing some selling pressure. So we're going to be watching that one closely. I'd like to quickly thank the sponsor of today's video, which is Moomoo, a licensed FINRA broker that does absolutely zero payment for order flow. They also give away free level 2 data, and they're running a promotion where all you have to do is deposit $1 on their platform. You can get up to $7,000 in free stock. You basically get one free stock for opening an account. You deposit $1, get another free stock valued up to $3,500 each. So you can potentially get Apple stock, Amazon stock, Google stock, Tesla stock, Apple, I think I already said that, but you name it, you can get it here on Moomoo, only using those links below in the description or pinned comment section. So check that out, but let's get right back into the video. So here's the Ortex data. There's really not too much to be showing you guys. I mean, other than the fact that yes, it's still on the threshold list. Yes, short interest has still been increasing. It's at 42.49%. Yes, there's 257% cost to borrow and 100% utilization. I mean, quite frankly, there's no other stock that has the short squeeze statistics that Aterian has in the stock market. The biggest concern that I have is just the fact that there's so much manipulation in the stock market that, quite frankly, we don't see short sellers cover. So even though the fact that they are paying such an extreme cost to borrow, it just makes me feel like they're not going to get squeezed out for one type of manipulation or another. I don't know if we're just in a bear market and obviously short sellers are thriving during this market or what, but you know, there is tons and tons of stuff that happens in the stock market that kind of screws up chances of a short squeeze occurring. One of the things I can see right off the bat just by looking at Ortex data is the fact that there's 19.9 million shares on loan and the estimated short interest is about 11 million shares. So that puts about 8 million additional shares on loan that aren't currently being shorted, that, well, if someone wanted the stock price to tank, they can return those shares and then short sellers would take advantage of them, and then it would probably lead to a down day because of the excess supply of returned shares. So I'm not going to get my hopes up, but golly gosh, these short squeeze statistics are absolutely incredible. Ranked number 1 on Fintel short squeeze, ranked number 1 on Fintel gamma squeeze. Absolutely insane right there. 100,000 shares according to Fintel. Too short right now. Fintel has the borrow fee at 105. Ortex had it at 250. Short borrow ratio or short volume ratios at around 30%. It's actually pretty interesting how it shot down from around the 50s to the 30s, but it is down, and this is probably likely due to the fact that the share price has been down, so the aggressiveness of the shorting has probably cooled off a bit, but we'll see if that picks back up on today's date. Obviously, we only have data from last week, nothing from 425 as of yet, and then here are the failure to deliver throughout the end of March, but Aterian's rally really started after the end of March, around April 1st, so the failure to deliver data is not really there quite yet. Moving into the unusual whales options flow, we're looking at $10,000 in premium or more, ask side only, calls and puts. So this morning around 10:15 a.m. there was actually a lot of puts that were bought for 429. So these people were definitely squeezed out of their positions, and we're going to turn on the bid side in just a moment. But if we're just looking at it, that is at 10:15 a.m. I mean, Aterian moved up a ton, and those are for April 29th, so those expire right over here. They possibly did get squeezed out of their position, which could have potentially ignited that run we did. We also saw some more calls, some more puts, this one for 156,000. So shorts were definitely leveraging down on their positions, and honestly, with that spark up that we saw in Aterian, perhaps it was what led to the violent rally that we saw this afternoon. There was also some selling of calls in the morning. If we're just looking at both the bid and ask side, it's a lot more bearish than bullish. And then same thing if we have ask side only as well, it's about 80% bullish, and yeah, it's mostly because of those extremely large put positions that we saw. Let's get rid of that real quick. Let's just look at 50k premium max just to get rid of the outliers here. Then it goes around 50-50 bullish premium. So it shows that not all the time there's gonna be someone there knowing that the move is gonna occur. We saw tons and tons of premium come in on the call side while this was pumping, and then today, once it made its move back up, not nearly as much premium did come in, and that makes me think that it was mostly definitely hedging that was occurring, and that's what all that premium was. They were probably naked shorting to some extent, hedging with call options. I can't tell you with certainty what happened, but that could have been the case, right? This one bet that was a $4.50 call option did come in around 1050, which was the bottom of Aterian. But other than that, that was only 20k premium. It doesn't seem like it's something super significant there. So I don't think there was insider trading on this move this time, considering all the put positions that were open. But this one right here at 1050 was definitely a sneaky one because, well, they timed it kind of perfectly on this dip down to 4, but perhaps they were just a diligent scalper. Here we have the historical call options flow. There was another day of decreased premium from Friday, as you guys can see at 72,000 right there. Typically speaking, on these dips, it is a lot better to be getting into the stock than obviously on the rips. So take that as you will. Obviously, don't go YOLO all your money on options, but if you do, it's better be doing them on the dips. I mean, it worked even on the way while it was laddering up, right? Right here on April 6th, we go back, boom, April 6th, see, perfect time to be buying calls on those dips in historical option flow. Again, not financial advice, but we might be seeing some increased flow, especially if Ater continues to be green as of tomorrow. Max pain for this week is at $4.50, which unfortunately, after today's massive move, does imply that there is some downside risk. If we're looking at 520, that is at $5, which is around what the share price is trading at right now. And remember, max pain essentially means the most amount of call option buyers and the most amount of put option buyers will be losing money on that expiration if it expires at the strike price, which is the max pain. So on May 20th, that would be $5 per share. The gamma exposure is also pretty incredible, but understand the most net gamma is at that $5 level, and we just did breach that $5 level, so it will take a lot more natural buying power to get us to that 750 level, but after the 750 level, it could get extremely explosive. And you see how gamma works right here. I mean, as soon as it goes over that $5 level, it explodes all the way up to 525. So that's what gamma does. It just adds extra volatility to the upside if a stock is pumping and moves across that strike price, because now a lot more call options are going to have to be hedged for by buying that stock. Anyways, my friends, that's about it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, drop a like on it if you guys did. Aterian or ATER or Ater or whatever you want to call it was pumping, was looking good. It still definitely has the best chance of a short squeeze if we're just looking at price momentum and statistics alone. Fintel has it as the #1 short squeeze score and the #1 gamma squeeze score, and that's not for no reason. This thing is set up like an absolute monster, and honestly, the only question of whether or not this thing does run like absolute crazy is whether or not retail investors hold. That's pretty much given, right? Retail investors are gonna hold, but also if short sellers actually have to cover. I mean, we see so much manipulation, and short sellers just, they just take it up. They take up a 400% ride to the upside, and they still don't cover. It makes no sense. These short sellers just don't cover. So we'll see what happens. But with that all being said, that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Check out Hootmoney trade alerts. We got in early on RDBX and we sold for some profit, some tendies as of today. We also called SPY puts last week. Those ran like absolute crazy. And we're working on some new plays this week. So check out Hootmoney trade alerts. That first link in the description. Also, check out Moomoo if you want up to $7,000 in free stock. That's the second link in the description. First link in the pinned comment section. But with all that being said, that's about it. I'll be seeing you guys next time.